Yes. Now you got Hawks Knicks tonight, and the Knicks are actually favored by 1.5 points. But I bet Trae Young has something to say about that. We shall see. He is
Yeah.
up there along with the rest of the Hawks squad to take on the Knicks at Madison Square Garden tonight. And of course, we know this is the space and place where no matter what is happening, 1 game, 10 games, 20 games before he takes on the Knicks. We know he circles this on his calendar because this is what motivates him and gets him going. And that's actually what you want. This might be the
Yeah.
type of game that gives you exactly what you want and need out of him and what can potentially reset the trajectory for him. And you know, Jarvis, if this game resets the trajectory for him, then that's a good look for potential reset for the Hawks, especially as they continue to go through what I consider their maybe toughest 6 month stretch, 6 game stretch of the young NBA season. That said, however, there's still drama.
Yeah.
There's still a little bit of a dark cloud kind of lingering from all of what we've heard, the fallout between Nate and Trae, and then kind of the fallout overall. That said, do you believe that there's an easy fix, a short term, a quick fix in order to deal with this drama? Or do you think this is something that's going to take a little bit longer? Or is this really not that serious anyway? Let's just press on. There's a game to be played tonight.
I think the short term fix is just Trey just playing better, right? Because we know if Trey plays well, this teams are gonna go. Like
Mhm.
it's just everything falls into place when because it starts with Trae Young, and that's how the Hawks have set this roster up. You
Yeah.
know, Trae Young is the face of the franchise. Trae Young
Mhm.
is the guy that people go to for answers. And
Right.
when you don't give answers that are conducive to helping move along the situation and you
Mhm.
blow it up yourself by the way you respond to those answers,
Yeah.
this is what you get. So
Mhm.
if you're not gonna fess up and stand up and say what you need to say in order to move on, even if it you still kind of feel a certain type of way about it, because
Mhm.
hey, you got to put your feelings aside in certain situations, especially when you are that guy, when you're the guy, regardless of your leadership qualities, you need to
Mhm.
be able to put things aside. So if he's able to put this aside and understand all the hate that's about to come his way, all
Yes.
the heckling that's about to come his way, Madison Square
Oh,
Garden,
yeah.
because that's just how they love to do him.
Mhm.
He needs to conjure up Petty Trey. Petty
Yeah.
Trey needs to come out tonight, and I
Yes.
think that if that comes out, that's an easy short term fix. And as far as long term goes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's a trade T that can potentially right this ship and
Mhm.
kind of open guys' eyes and like, hey man, you know, uh, we need to get this thing together and figure it
Yeah.
out. Or you know, and I think that the option that I
Mhm.
don't want the option that I don't want to happen
Mhm.
is people start talking about and start trying to blame this stuff on Nate, and I
Yeah.
don't think Nate necessarily deserve that type of criticism this early on in the season.
I agree. And one thing I thought about, I actually saw a really cool video on Instagram from Lou Williams
Mhm.
last night. He is kind of coaching up and mentoring and motivating his old team, South Gwinnett High.
Okay.
And just watching him in that 2 minute video, and this funniest thing, because you know Lou Will is like every third word was an expletive. That's why we're not playing it on ATL Day Ones.
Yeah,
That's why
keep
I'm
it
just
clean on
going
the
to give
show.
you I'm going to
Family
give you the
friendly.
Cliff Notes PG version of what he said. But
Yeah.
essentially, he was telling them how every possession counts, and he was sharing with them that when you play ball, you've got to stay focused and it's got to be, that same energy, that same intensity, start to finish. So
Right.
again, part of the reason that the Hawks have kind of faded out, and I also heard a clip from Clint Capella, and he was saying like, "Hey, we in the front court need to do a little bit better so we don't put our back court in certain situations." But I would challenge that slightly. I do agree with him
Mhm.
as far as what the heck are the 3 and 4 doing to help out the five, especially the subs at the 3 and at the 4. But I
Right.
can't say that's going to be the end of the discussion or the situation. You still have to get more from your backcourt because Shea Gilgis Alexander is who torched you, even
Yeah.
though 58 points were scored in the paint. But that's essentially who torched you. So there still has to be some uptick in the backcourt play. And I do believe it's, if to your point, Trey sets that tone early tonight and then is consistent with it. My definition of consistency, by the way, is what I see mid to late third quarter. because
Yeah.
what I see mid to late third quarter, 9 times out of 10 is what's going to carry over into that fourth quarter and get them the win. So, yeah, my eyes will most certainly be on Trae and kind of seeing how he sets that tone and how he consistently keeps that tone late in that third quarter.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Because we know what the issues are. We talked about the issues when Nate McMillan first took over, and
Mhm.
we're starting to see some of those same things. Is not being able to finish out games because we know the Hawks were supposed to beat the Oklahoma City
Oh,
Thunder,
yeah, yeah,
and and the thing about them is they knew what they were faced with, right? They knew that the Oklahoma City Thunder wasn't a team that is going to sit back and launch threes all game.
right.
That's not their style. They're going to get to the basket, and that's what they do.
Mhm.
And that's it. Night in, night out, you're going to have to shift your attention right to
Yeah,
certain things. Right. That's what they call. With the unfortunate thing about winning NFL, like, hey, you can come up with a game plan for a whole week because
yes.
you only play once a week. But when it
Mhm.
comes to the NBA, you play every other night. You know what I'm saying? So pretty consistently. So you're going to have to adjust your game plan or adjust your attention to certain
Mhm.
things and understand that hey, this is the team that's going to try to penetrate.
Right.
And New York, not so much. They're gonna launch some threes. So you have to be close. You're gonna have to be a lot of closeouts tonight in order for the Hawks
Mhm.
to get that dub.
That's another point that Lou Will made as well, the attention to detail. And,
Hmm.
I do TV sideline reporting for the Skyhawks this season. And one of the things that their coach, Coach Steve Gansey, said was, I'm going to keep this simple. And this is a tip from the Skyhawks and Coach G. On offense, all you have to do is shoot the shot that the defense gives you. So
Yeah.
whether that's Trae Young or the entire squad, when it comes to the third quarter, especially, and if you have a huge lead, just continue to take what the defense gives you. Definitely don't fall back and settle for shots the way we totally kind of saw them do late in that game Monday. And also, Jarvis, follow the ball. Like
Yeah.
wherever the ball is, go defend there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if every man just understands that assignment, the Hawks should be more than fine tonight. And not just tonight, Jarvis, but I'm looking at it as if it's kind of the 6 game stretch that we talked about, where I think they should be able to easily go 3-3, even without DeAndre Hunter, even without John Collins, right? But
Mhm.
once we get past that 6 game window, now we're also talking about what are you going to do for the rest of this month? What are you
Mhm.
taking? What energy are you taking into January? Because we don't want to say that's kind of when it really starts, but that's kind of when you start seeing players and coaches and GMs evaluated a little bit more as you're getting closer to that trade deadline, as you're getting closer to that all-star break. So yeah, all eyes on Gotham tonight. But as you all know, the game isn't until 7:30. So you have more than enough time to check out ATL day ones. And then once you check us out and like Jarvis said, maybe binge watch on us, you can go binge watch Locked On Sports today. That's to be your daily stop as well. Because if you want reaction to this kind of story, this kind of ongoing story, that's where you get it from. And if you want to take on the biggest stories, we just found out some tough news in the NFL for a team that is favored to get to the Super Bowl, if not win it. The Buffalo Bills have lost Von Miller for the season. So you
Mhm.
get a reaction to big stories like that right there on Locked On Sports today. And you guys always give us so much love for the culture. They have their version of it called Take of the Day. So be sure to check them out where you check us out. The Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you download your podcast. It is Locked On Sports today, where all the big news is going down.